I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode here at wildmanlifts. I'm your host, Wildman. On today's episode, we're going to go over a strength program that has been tried and tested throughout the years and has been found to be successful across many different levels. During my lifetime, I have met 3 different kinds of people that want to get better in strength, fitness, and conditioning. The first is the beginner or the novice, somebody who has never weightlifted before in their life, but knows they need to go to the gym if they want to get stronger, but really doesn't know what to do. The second person is the doer, somebody who goes into the gym and likes to leave with a good sweat. They lift weights, they run on the treadmills, they play basketball, they do whatever they can in the commercial gyms, and they go home feeling like that they have accomplished something. But they recognize that they're not getting stronger and they're not getting fitter, and they don't know what else they can do. The third person is the advanced weightlifter, somebody who has been weightlifting for years, has been doing conditioning and fitnessing for years, but has plateaued, cannot seem to go beyond a certain number that they're lifting, and doesn't know what to do to break these plateaus so that they can continue to get stronger. Now, fortunately for you, there is a strength program out there that can solve all these problems for those 3 different kinds of people. So if you are one of these 3 kinds of people, you might want to pay attention, get a pad and a pen, and follow along with me, because we're going to dive into the strength program that can get you there. When I was trying to figure out how to get stronger, I scoured the internet and YouTube looking for people who were strong and trying to model what they were doing. A lot of my fitness heroes and my strength athletes that I follow posted what they were doing directly onto their YouTube and even gave some examples. This helped me tremendously on how to model a strength program for myself that would work. I'm going to introduce to you this strength model, but it's going to be up to you whether or not you want to follow it or if you want to modify it to what your needs are. Because I am not a medical professional and I am not a professional physical trainer. I am just a guy who lives in his backyard, lives in commercial gyms occasionally, and every once in a while I get stronger. And so I think I know what I'm doing. All right, so without further ado, the strength program is called 5x5. Now, if you go online and you research 5x5, you can get all the answers right now. You could stop this video, go to Google, type in 5x5, and it will lay out exactly what you need to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how I model 5x5 for myself and how I would model 5x5 for clients. 5x5 basically means an order of sets and an order of reps. Anytime you see an X in between numeric values, it generally means in weightlifting, the set number comes first, followed by how many reps you're going to be doing per set. So in this case, 5x5 means 5 sets and 5 reps every 5 sets. Pretty simple. Now, the way that I like to set up 5x5 is like this. We're going to be doing 5 sets times 5 reps per set, and we're going to add 5 pounds on every week, and we're going to do that for 5 weeks, okay? This is called a cycle. And usually a strength program has 2 to 3 cycles before you start seeing your gains or you start seeing your strength go up. Because our body takes time to build muscle, to build tendon strength, and to get our small stabilizers in order to handle larger loads up and working. And when we're doing 5x5 in this manner, I'm really only talking about 4 basic barbell movements: the back squat, the bench press, the overhead press, and the deadlift. Doing these exercises 5x5 will absolutely raise your strength gains, will provide the necessary volume you need, whether you're an advanced weightlifter or a beginner or somebody who just wants to get stronger but is already pretty athletic. 5x5 will solve all of your programs. Now, the way that I like to model 5x5 is to do 70%, 75%, or 80% of your 1 rep max when you're starting out. So basically all that means is you go to the gym and you see how much you can deadlift for 1 rep, back squat, overhead press, or bench press. And then you try to figure out which 1 rep feels good, or maybe one you have to grind out. That's going to be completely up to you. The way that I like to do any strength program is I like to do some movements in between that will A, help me with the lift, and B, keep me conditioned and fit, and C, will help with the lift in the future if I keep doing it. So this is called giant set format. And that just basically means you're doing more stuff in between your lifts. So as I'm doing 5x5, what I like to do is model it after this, okay? So the first movement is going to be a strength portion, which is going to be one of the 4 barbell lifts. The next one is going to be an antagonistic movement to that strength movement. So if you're doing the bench press and you're moving in this plane, you want to take the same amount of weight and do it in the opposite direction. So in this case, this would be a bench press, and then it would be a row, okay? Because that would be in the same direction. Then I like to do some kind of core activity, whether it's a static hold, an abdominal work, or an oblique exercise. And then the last thing I like to do is some type of cardio. Now there's one movement that might be able to master all of these things, okay? And that's called the burpee, right? If you were doing deadlift and you were doing the burpee, you would be able to hit all 3 of these things, and you would only need to do burpees. You don't need to do 3 separate exercises. But in the off chance that you can do more and your work capacity is higher, then by all means go ahead. So here is an example of a 5x5 giant set format that I've created. The first one's going to be the bench press. And for week 1, let's just say that you're starting off with 135. So that means for 5 sets and for 5 reps, you're not going to change this weight. You're just going to do 135 for 5 sets, 5 reps, for 25 reps total at 135 pounds. The next week, when you go back to bench press, you're going to only add 5 more pounds to that, and it's going to be 140 pounds. And you're going to continue to do 140 pounds for all 5 sets, all 5 reps, for 25 reps total with 140 pounds. And then you can see the pattern continues for the next 3 weeks. You add 5 more pounds, 5 more pounds, 5 more pounds. And then on week 6, you're going to test that. You're going to test your bench press to see if you're gaining strength. The antagonistic movement that I chose here is the barbell bent over row. Barbell rows are the reverse motion of a bench press. So this would equal the amount of tension on both your back and your chest and pushing muscles so that you are equally balanced and will likely reduce the chance of you getting a shoulder impingement. I have here that it's the same weight as your strength portion, right? So week 1, 135 would be your bend over row for the bench press. And you would continue to rise with that every single week. Because mathematically, that's the easiest thing that you can do. However, you could do this with anything. You could do this with dumbbells. You could do this with a single arm row. You could do it with whatever really you want, as long as it's in the same plane of pushing motion as your strength portion. And then I just did 10 sit-ups and 30 jump ropes for cardio. And that's pretty easy. If you do 5 rounds of that, your total numbers are going to be 25 bench press reps, 25 bent over rows, 50 sit-ups, and 150 jump ropes. And you will have left the gym feeling like you left it all out there. And as the weight gets heavier every week, you might not be able to finish your 5x5, which is perfectly fine. Continue to push the weight until you get to week 6 when you can test, and then take your new 1 rep max numbers and start over at the beginning. So if you started with 70% of your 1 rep max and your 1 rep max went up by 10 pounds, then you're going to go back to 70% of your new 1 rep max and you're going to start 5 times 5 over again. There are people that have done 5 times 5 their entire career. Some of the most strongest people in the world have tried other programs, but just stick with 5 times 5. 5 times 5, when I first started off, was the perfect strength set for me. It made me strong, it made me balanced, and it made it so that my tendon strength could keep up with my muscle strength. And there's other strength programs out there where you lift heavier more often. And if that's what gets you to the gym, by all means do this. If you're one of those 3 people I mentioned in the beginning of this video, you might want to give this a try. At least do it for 1 cycle and just see if your 1 rep max goes up. If it does, you might want to invest in this a little further. Last note, you don't have to do this strength exercise in giant set format. You can also just do this strength program all by itself, and you will see also amazing results. Going into the gym and just hitting these barbell movements will increase your strength. I encourage you to do much more than that, especially if your work capacity is higher and you want to get more work done in the gym. Then you should definitely do it in giant set format, because your totals at the very end of the day and monthly, it's going to build towards your fitness and it's going to make you stronger and an all-around better athlete and not just a stronger person. So go ahead and give this a shot and let me know in the comments how it works out for you. So for the next couple videos, I'm going to be doing 5 times 5 just to kind of show people how it works. So go ahead and follow along with me as I show you how to do 5 times 5 in giant set format, and you can model your next strength program after what I'm doing. Until next time, YouTube, thank you.